All right, hello and welcome to the Passion Driven Pioneers interview series. I'm your host, John Channon, and today I am joined by Nora Schaper, who is co-founder of HiBar. Nora, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi,
Would
John.
you?
Thanks for letting me be here.
Yeah, you're welcome. Shoot. Would you like to kick us off with just a brief background as to who you are and what you do and what your company does?
Sure. So I'm Nora, and we're based in Minnesota, in St. Paul area. And I am a co-founder of HiBar. HiBar is a mission-based company, and it's a company to inspire people to eliminate single-use plastic from their everyday lives. And the way we're doing that is we're reformulating personal care and beauty products to eliminate the need for the plastic package. So we're most known for our hair care. Those are kind of our hero products and what we launched with in 2018. I'm in this business with my husband, is also one of our co-founders, and he's also our formulator. And this business really did start in our basement. We had a previous business prior to this that we had a studio space. It was bath bombs and soaps that we were making previously, and selling way more regionally than HiBar is sold, but through farmers markets and co-ops in town. And so we had the studio space in our basement, and we were experimenting with ways to make a solid shampoo, so that we could eliminate that plastic bottle. So our mission is about eliminating plastic. And since 2018, we've eliminated over 5.5 million plastic bottles from waterways and landfills. And we've saved over 1 million gallons of water.
Wow,
It's a long
that's a lot. I mean,
answer.
that is a lot. We go down to Belize and there's a lot of plastics that wash up on the beaches there where where it's a little more desolate and stuff. And
It's so true.
every plastic container you can take off the planet is great.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you
Plastic
talk,
doesn't it doesn't degrade. It turns into microplastics, and every plastic bottle you've ever purchased is still on this planet. And so, really, we're trying to figure out ways to do it better. And HiBar is a perfect example. Like shampoo and conditioner, for example, is over 80% water, and it was created before there was running water in people's homes. So they added water to it so that you could wash your hair at home. But obviously now you have running water in your home. And we just keep doing it that way because that's the way it's been done. But actually, when you take water out of the product, you have a concentrated 100% effective ingredient product, and it actually lasts longer. You don't need to shampoo as often. You need fewer products to use after you shampoo because your hair health has improved. And we've just discovered it's a much better way to wash your hair. It's just converting people to a new way that is the challenge.
oh, cool. So I think you might have touched on it a little bit there, but what was that initial spark that led you to take the entrepreneurial leap with this business?
Yeah, for us, it really was about having kids and that we're drowning in plastic as a society. And that we had the capacity and the ability to like experiment because we had this studio space in our basement. And we could come up with a way to make a product that would solve a problem of the plastic bottle. So making the world a little better place and trying to eliminate plastic was really the biggest motivator for us.
Yeah, it's a true passion, it sounds like.
Yep.
So, so I'm going to ask you a little bit about running a business, right? So what are some of those misconceptions about running a business, right? And, there's common misconceptions about that, and how do you address them?
Yeah, it's obviously everybody's journey is a little bit different, but you really have to have a product market fit. And you have to really find something that does solve a problem, because products, there's a lot of options out there for people and things don't sell themselves. So unless you're really discovering something that's an important piece in the puzzle, it's a harder sell, basically. I think that's a misconception, that you could come up with a great idea, but if it doesn't actually solve a problem in the market, then it's a lot harder to get it running and get momentum around it.
Yeah, that's a key learning for sure. So you mentioned kids, and you were doing this for your kids. How do you maintain your work-life balance as a business owner?
That's a great question. And also because my husband is part of the business.
I know. You guys are all in.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a lifelong lesson for us. We've involved our kids in the business, but it is because both my husband and I are involved in it. So our lifestyle is kind of all around running a business. Um, so it works for us. Both of our kids actually work for us right now, which is another great thing. Um, but the work-life balance is a real challenge. I think that if my husband and I didn't work together, I'm not sure, how much time we'd have together, honestly. Because even on the weekends, running your own business, we work all the time. Anytime there's something that needs to happen, we're on it. Um, so we do get time off and time away, but even during that time, we're often talking about work. So I'm not sure I'm the person to talk to about work-life balance because I've just enmeshed it into my personal life. And so it's all kind of one now.
Well, it sounds like you guys do some strategic planning vacations.
Yeah, write-offs. There you go.
Yeah, right. All right. So, so as businesses are constantly evolving and changing that landscape, right? How do you stay adaptable and open to change?
I think that that's another challenge that I think a lot of businesses face. For me, and for who we hire, like I'm not the one that knows the most, is what I always tell myself. Like we hire people that know more than I know about that field or know more about what the job is. For instance, even, our fulfillment manager, like since we brought her in and she was brought in probably 2 years after we had started the business. And she just knows what to do and how to make a pallet efficient and how to, create efficiencies on the fulfillment line. And she just knows so much more about it than I do. I think that's the key, that you are always bringing in people, and you don't have to be the expert in the room, that you hire people that are the experts in that field or could even grow into being an expert in that field with more knowledge and background in that topic.
And so you've got a pretty innovative product.
We do.
And are there specific strategies that you use as an organization or personally to remain innovative, right?
Well, innovation is a key part for us. We're going to keep innovating and we look at the body care aisle and we think, what can we reformulate on this aisle to eliminate as much plastic as we can? So we're really going in on innovation. And I think that, well, basically, keeping it's a priority in our company. We have an innovation discussion at it's like a standing topic in every meeting. And we also run our business on the traction model. Are you
Oh, yeah.
familiar with traction?
Very
Uh,
familiar with traction. Yep.
and that is super helpful. And basically the main part that we use in the traction model is focusing on the rocks or
Yeah.
the things that are going to make the biggest impact to the business. And we talk about those rocks every week. We have company rocks, we have individual rocks. And when we meet as a management team, we go through that. And we plan we have a planning session for the year and we talk about, okay, what are our rocks for the year and what are the main things we want to keep doing. And so innovation is part of every conversation.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, and the traction system is definitely a good system.
It's really helpful. It really keeps you focused.
So let's talk a little bit about the future, right? If you were to look out kind of 5 years from now, what does HiBar look like, right? What have they accomplished, right? Or what are maybe some of those goals that you
Yeah,
have for your
and
business?
we may be a little different than other companies because of our mission.
Yeah.
So for us, we really, well, one, wanted to disrupt hair care. And we did that. We disrupted hair care. So we were first to market in grocery, natural grocery, with a solid product. And actually they created a subcategory of hair care for solid hair care now that wasn't existing in advance. And they're like Sprouts, we're on the shelves at Sprouts. That's a retailer in the South. And now they have about 12 feet of solid hair care with a QR code educating consumers on why solid hair care is better. So for us, disrupting the marketplace so that we could show people that it's better and furthering our mission was the most critical part of that.
And so 5 years from now,
Oh yeah, so
what are
5 years.
you doing?
I'm sorry, I lost that part of the question. We really know, so we started this, we really know that it's not even a trend. Like things are changing in the consumer world because solid products and condensed products, saving the water resource, it's easier to ship, it's a smaller footprint. We know that this is coming and the body care aisle is going to be changing. So we think in 5 years, you're going to walk down an aisle in the grocery store and see way fewer plastic bottles, if any, and that you'll be looking at a plastic bottle and saying, oh, well, why is there a plastic bottle in here? Like smoking indoors or smoking in general used to be. So we really see the vision going that way. And as a company, we want to stay top of mind for consumers, like a top 3 sustainable brand. And leaders in sustainability discussion is where we'd like HiBar to be.
So early on in your entrepreneurial journey, what were maybe 1 or 2 of the challenges that you faced, right? Getting a business up and going that you'd like to share with other people?
I think for us, one of the biggest challenges is that we're asking people to change behavior for like washing their hair. And so for us, one of the biggest challenges is the education component and how do we educate consumers, especially because, you know, we're on retail shelves in grocery for the most part. We also have a website, but there's not a lot of room or opportunity on a grocery shelf to educate the consumer. So, you know, we have to come up with creative ways. We use QR codes, you know, and we train staff at different retailers. So that's been a huge challenge to come up with ways we can actually get the consumer educated on once they buy our product. In addition to that, you know, we have a really unique shape. It's the shape that's on the wall behind me for our shampoo. We did that because we didn't want people to confuse our product with soap. Ours is actual shampoo. So we knew if it was like a square bar, people would confuse it as soap. On a grocery shelf, it would get put with soap. And so we designed our product to stand upright and to be that unique shape. But that unique shape, we had to figure out how to produce it in that shape. And actually, production in general, we thought we could find somebody to make our product, but nobody could make the product to the specs that we use. And so we brought manufacturing in-house, and we've invented how to make a solid product, you know, with equipment that is meant for other things. So when you're one of the first people to market with a product, how to make it isn't out there. You don't, you know, we had to invent the process. And that's been a huge challenge. It's also our shape. We've invested in molds, and it's really, they were expensive molds, you know, and so now our product lasts, like it'll last, a shampoo will last 6 months, a conditioner will last 8 months, you know, and we can't make it smaller because we can't rebuy all the molds. So, you know, you learn as you go, like it's a great value. And now we educate on the value of our product. But if we would have known some of these things earlier or not had to invent the way to do it, we probably would have planned better for the size and how long it lasts type of thing.
That's all right. I think, you know, working through those types of issues, especially for a startup that's kind of being a bit disruptive in the marketplace is good. You know, I don't
Right.
know how long it took you guys to come up with the design or to be able to manufacture it and the thoughts of standing up, right? But it's part of that disruption you've been talking about, right?
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
sometimes I believe our journeys are have a purpose.
I think you're right. And the really the shape is our it's almost iconic. It really does differentiate us in the marketplace. And it was probably one of our best decisions, but also one of the most challenging decisions. So you're absolutely right about that.
So, kind of building on that, right? What advice would you offer to aspiring entrepreneurs who are just starting their journey or facing some of these challenges?
Well, I have to say, one of the best traits an entrepreneur can have is resilience. I really believe that every business is successful or not because of the entrepreneur behind the business. Really, you have to listen to yourself. You know the business best. I can't tell you how much advice we got. One of the key things that we were told when we started out is to focus on men, um, focus, sales on men, and they'll use anything on their hair and you'll get great sales. And we thought, well, that's not going to help us achieve our mission. We need to get the tough customer, the woman with complicated hair, and convert them in order for us to, eliminate plastic. Um, so really, we knew what our mission was and what was best for our company. And even experts will give you advice that sounds great, but you have to listen to what you want for the business. And, not all advice is good advice.
That's really good. So, so knowing that this is a bit of an educational program and everything, is there anything in particular you want to make sure that you would share with somebody watching this show that, or
I
anything
would
else like,
say, really believe in yourself and keep at it. I can't tell you how many, close calls, bad days, hard times that I've gone through as running a business. And I just show up again the next day and somehow I manage to have a positive attitude again. And really it's contagious. If you have a can-do attitude and you can push it through and go through, this is another fallacy of business owners. Like we pay ourselves probably less than anybody else in the company. So we're not in it to make the big bucks. We're in it because we really want to make a difference. And that passion really gets you through even the hard times.
yeah, they say attitude accounts for 85% of somebody's success.
I
You
think
can have
it
all the
does
skills and
too.
knowledge in the world, but if you don't have that attitude, that resilience, right, that passion, you may not be as successful as you could. So
Right. And
great.
and for us, the mission is really important. And so that keeps us going. So and we use the mission as a filter. That would be another tip I would give people. Like know what you're trying to do, and then every decision you make, run it through that filter and make sure it's on track with your brand.
Yeah, your business has got to be consistent with your values for sure.
It's so true. Yep.
That's great. Well, listen, thank you so much for your time today, Nora. I appreciate
Thank
it. It
you,
was great
John. This
meeting
is
you and
fun.
learning more about your entrepreneurial journey. So thanks for sharing all that. And
Thank you.
then to everybody watching, I look forward to seeing you at our next episode.